Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez-Williams, and I am going to make Perico style cauliflower rice. Now, I want to know if you've ever had pericos. Perico is a Colombian dish that uses eggs and tomatoes and onions, and then you eat it after you cook it. You eat it with arepas or and with some like fresh cheese, some like queso blanco. But I'm not making arepas. You could have this alongside arepas, but we're going to do it with cauliflower rice. So it's going to be like a blend of like a fusion style food, and it's going to be really delicious. So I have a avocado oil. I finally got some avocado oil. I have avocado oil, and I'm going to start with just 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. And we're also having some fish alongside this. This is mostly, it has some protein in it because we're using eggs, but it doesn't, it has a good amount, but not enough that it would be just our meal. So we're using it as like a side. And I'm going to mix my cup of diced onion with my oil. And I want to start to saute that here. While that's starting to cook in my oil, I'm going to also finish cutting my Roma tomatoes. So I'm going to use 3 Roma tomatoes. If you've ever had pericos, put Perico, P-E-R-I-C-O, in the comments. If you've never had it, put never had it. When I lived in Ecuador, I often went to one of our professors' houses. I was a dean of women at a Bible college. It was a North American Bible college. And when I went to their house, they used to live in Colombia. And so they taught me this pericos. Now, I already have like sliced these. So I'm going to finish dicing my tomatoes. How do you dice yours? Oh, look who's here, the photo bomber. The photo bomber. Joe, my husband, J-O-E. All right. How do you dice your tomatoes? This is one way that I have learned that I like. And I always use a serrated type of knife. What do? I think it's so fun how everyone does stuff a little bit different based on how they were taught or who they learned from and how they taught themselves. And I think it's fascinating. All right, tell me also where you're watching from. Like, share, heart this video so that more people can see that they too can eat high protein, low carb, and really enjoy flavors and enjoy food, but like real food, high protein, low carb food. I'm gonna look down so I don't cut my finger off, but I am also looking at you. There you are. And I am almost here, done with these ones. I hear my onions in the background. So this is a great way to use your time. This is also something that you could prep ahead of time if you already have your onions diced and prepped. You could even have them frozen if you want to prep like way ahead of time. And then you could already have your tomatoes diced ahead of time too, which would save some time. Although while those are cooking or sauteing, we want to saute them for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to add our tomatoes. So we're going to move over to our onions, move them around a little bit in the avocado oil. You could also use coconut oil or butter for this. I love the smell of onions cooking in oil or butter. It's like one of my favorite smells. So good. Smells delicious. All right, now I'm just gonna rinse my hand. Also, while you're waiting for this, you could beat your 8 eggs. So I have already done most of that, whipping my 8 eggs. So I could do a little bit more of that in a second. And I'm going to add now my tomatoes, and I'm gonna mix them with my onions. And let these flavors meld and saute together. I want to do this until the tomatoes start to like fall apart a little bit. And obviously tomatoes have some juice to them, so I'm gonna let it all kind of move around. But I wanna move it around with the oil, with the onions, and saute. I'm using a huge pan because I'm adding some cauliflower rice and some eggs. But if you don't have it as huge of a pan, this dish in particular will not be as imperative that you have the huge pan, although a good sized pan would be helpful. All right, so I wanna get this to be cooking for a couple minutes. And while this is cooking, then you could beat your eggs. So I have 8 eggs. Yeah, and you could use the time to already break your 8 eggs and to whisk them. And we're gonna scramble these eggs with our tomatoes and our onion. And then we're gonna add a couple of seasonings and a couple of spices. And then we're gonna add our cauliflower rice and one more, same ingredient, but another of an ingredient that we've already used. So this is a brand new recipe I'm creating today. I was thinking about what we have in our fridge and thinking about what could I make and remembering this dish that I learned how to make when I lived in Ecuador, but with people who lived in Colombia in the past. And I decided, let me do this. All right, my fish is about ready to come out of the oven too, so I might have to pause just to grab that and check it and see if it needs another few minutes. And then now we're gonna be just adding our eggs and letting those cook. Ultimately, I want my onions to be translucent, to be transparent. They're getting close, not all of them though, so I want to move the ones that are kind of white still towards the center where more of my heat is. And I'm going to double check on this fish, which looks like it needs some more time. So once that goes off, I'm going to add some more time to my fish. I'll show you how it's kind of been separated now, or how you can tell that the the tomatoes are starting to separate. You can see how they have kind of started to cook down. All right. So now I'm going to add my my egg. I'm just going to pour it everywhere. And then I'm going to let it sit for a moment so that when I start to move it around, I can make it scrambled easier or better. And then at the end, I'm going to add my cauliflower rice and one more thing. So actually to this, I can add, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. You could also use 3 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, or half a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Oop, that's a lot. It is a little more because I didn't catch it. And then a teaspoon of pink salt. Tell me where you're watching from. I would love to know. If you've had pericos before, P-E-R-I-C-O, put the word perico in the comments. It's a Colombian breakfast dish that usually you eat with, you don't add cauliflower rice, and usually you eat it with arepas, which are high in carbs. I need to come up with an arepa recipe. And then you also can eat it, you add like a little bit of fresh white cheese, like a queso fresco or queso blanco. All right, now I'm gonna move this around and start to make my eggs scrambled. I don't want them to burn, so I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. And then we have only 2 more things to add. And then we'll just let it saute. Tell me where you're watching from. What did you do to move your body today? I walked and I taught one swim lesson. It was supposed to be like 4 and water aerobics, but it didn't end up being, it was only 1. But I did teach 1. And then I'm gonna walk again this evening. Tell me what you did. I would love to know. My husband is jumping on the trampoline at this very moment. It's one of his lifestyle hacks and protocol that he is committing to adding to his life. Okay. Some of these are more cooked than others, so I'm trying to move I'm not sure where the heat is at. Seems like the heat is in more parts than certain parts than others on this burner. So I do want to get most of this all the way cooked, the eggs all the way cooked before I add my cauliflower rice. Because this is going to be kind of like a fried rice style perico. Which is just of my own creation. Pericos don't have cauliflower rice or regular rice in them. Okay, it is almost there, ready to add the cauliflower rice. I have 2 bags of cauliflower rice, and they are 12 ounces each, so 24 ounces total. So I'm going to just check on my fish. Here's how it looks so far. And my fish has now been cooking for maybe enough time. Can't quite tell. And I need to grab it out. I have Alaskan white cod. This is not a part of the recipe, but it's what we're eating tonight as our protein. Have to see if that's ready. Let me move this around. And then be ready to add the cauliflower rice. All right. Tell me where you're watching from. Give me thumbs up, hearts, share this video so that more people know that they can make amazingly good, delicious food from all over the world in a high protein, low carb way. Let's check on this fish. I put some, cooked it in butter and added some seasoning to it. If you like fish, put fish in the comments. No, it's definitely not done. All right. We're gonna put that back in the oven. All right. And see if our cauliflower rice is ready. Our eggs are ready. They're getting more firm. More firm, not firm yet, but more firm. All right, let me grab my cauliflower rice. I'm gonna get all the clumps out. Been sitting out for a moment, not that long, but a moment. Get my other bag. All right, and so Perico is a Colombian breakfast dish that is common to eat with arepas, and not with rice, but with arepas, and putting like a little slice of white, like queso fresco on it. So we're just changing it up, and we're gonna eat it with cauliflower rice, or cook it with cauliflower rice. All right, now we're gonna add both bags of cauliflower rice. And then we're gonna mix it, then I'm gonna add one more ingredient, and then it's just gonna be cooking the cauliflower rice. And getting the eggs firmer and less and more dry for that fried rice type texture. So I'm going to mix it. Actually, before I mix it, I'm going to add my last ingredient, which is just another tablespoon of avocado oil. And now I just want to add use another spoon so I can mix it better. Okay, I'm gonna mix this. And then we'll be ready to go. I'll show you it. And then you can add salt to taste, pink salt or sea salt to taste after it's all cooked. And if you need some more, you can add it for sure. Probably will add it to mine. And then if you'd like to serve it, you could serve it with avocado, like slices of avocado. You could serve it with a slice of cheese. And eat that on the side or put that on the top. Lots of ways. You could also eat it with one of my tortillas on the side and use that to eat it, or put it on top of it, one of my tortillas that doesn't bend, or put it inside one of the ones that do bend. Tell me what you would do. You could also just eat it straight like this. What would you do? Okay, let me show you what it looks like. And then I'm just gonna let it cook for probably like 10 minutes until the cauliflower rice is cooked and soft. It's soft right now, but it's frozen. I mean, it's frozen, but yes. So there it is. It's hard to see because it's all kind of similar colors, but that's what it is. That's what it looks like. That's the rest. That's the done. It's all done. Have a wonderful evening from my house to your kitchen. Global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Bye.